Hi everyone, I am going to do a quick demonstration of the dashboard so everyone can see how to use it and how to get the full amount of information from it. So this first page that will open when you open the dashboard is the main page, and it just contains some information about the dashboard, our disclaimers, and our source information. So this first box here is just a key with some definitions that you're going to see throughout the dashboard. And what these are different ways that diseases contained in each of these categories up here are transmitted. So it's just a way to get some more information about each of the diseases that are part of this dashboard. So the 6 we've included are airborne, direct, droplet, fecal oral, indirect, and vector-borne or zoonotic. And we've included definitions here if you just want more information on what each one means. And these symbols here are what you're going to see on each of the pages. This is just about the dashboard, what our goals for it are for the public. It's basically just a learning tool, a way to understand the diseases that are present in Hancock County and what demographics have been impacted over the years. These are our disclaimers. The main one that I want to talk about is that we do update the dashboard on different days than the Ohio Department of Health or the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention update their dashboards. So you may see, especially in regards to our COVID numbers may be different than what they are reporting, and that's just because we are updating on a different day, so that is okay. And then also when we interview a case for one of the diseases included, we may not get all the information that is possible to get. So we may not always get someone's age, we may not always get someone's race, ethnicity, zip code, things like that. So if you're trying to compare totals throughout the page, they may be slightly different, and that just means we didn't get all of the information during that interview. If you want to know the number of confirmed cases, those are in the case count box that will be at the top of each section, and I will point that out. All of the information, except for one thing that I will point out when we get to it, comes from the Ohio Disease Reporting System. This is where any reportable disease noted by a doctor or other health professional is inputted, and we are able to extract data from that and use it in this report. This is where you can see how up-to-date the data is. It's our goal to update it by the 20th of every month, so you'll see the date that the data was extracted and the date that the data was updated in this dashboard, so you'll know how recent that is. And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, feedback about the dashboard or anything else going on in the county, you're welcome to reach out to us. Our address, phone number, email are all included here. So now we'll get into the dashboard. First page with data you'll come to is a summary page, and this is kind of like a snapshot page. So this includes every disease count, for everything in this dashboard. So what you can do is see how much of a disease group in a certain year takes up of our total disease burden within the county. So for example, if I just wanted to see gastrointestinal illnesses, what you're going to do is right now everything is selected. You can see because it's darker. If I unselect them, now it's blue, which means it's all unselected. I'm just going to select gastrointestinal. This pulls it up for the past 5 full years, plus what we have of 2022, and I can see how that breaks down. And then you may also have noticed the zip codes over here will filter to only include the data for gastrointestinal. So we can see which zip codes had the most number of cases and what % of those had those cases. If I want to take it back to normal, you can either click this right here, which clears the selection, or you can select all. You can also go through and take off COVID or STIs, and you can see how everything compares next to each other based on that. You can also go in and do the same thing for years. So if I want to take off everything for 2022, you can take that off. You can also take off 2017. You can take them all off, add them all back. You can also go over here, and if you live in 45881 and you want to see what diseases are present, you can click on that. It's going to filter the data to only include that for your county or for your zip code. And then you just click anywhere that's blank and it'll unfilter that for you and clear it. You can click anywhere on the graph as well and it'll filter that data. So I've clicked this yellow bar under sexually transmitted infections. So it's going to show us the sexually transmitted infections for 2019 and filter that data for us. And again, just click anywhere that's blank and it'll filter it out for you. So now we'll go to the first disease group page. And this one just has COVID. And because COVID has only been present in the county since 2020, we only have these 3 years included. So what you'll see, all the following pages are going to look very similar. You're going to see this orange banner on the side. It's going to have the disease group in this top left corner so you know which page you're on. And then below that are any diseases that are included in the category. So anything that we monitor or look for, that's part of that category. And what's nice about this is you can click any of these links and it's going to take you to an ODH website, the Ohio Department of Health, and it's going to give you more information on that disease. So if I were to click COVID, it's going to take me to their coronavirus page. The only exception is there is not a ODH page for multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C, so that will take you to a CDC page instead. And then here are those symbols I was talking about so that you know how the diseases COVID and MIS-C spread. And we can see they're spread by airborne, droplet, and indirect transmission. And then if you wanted to know more about the category or the diseases in the category, there are extra resources down at the bottom of the banner as well. And those are links you can just click and it'll take you straight to that site. As far as the data on the dashboard, we have the years. This is where you can select and filter by disease. So if I just wanted to see COVID-19, you click it. That darker black color means that it's selected. So we can see that MIS-C is not selected. If I want to bring it back to both of them, you can see now that it's all, I can either click and do it, or I can clear selections and it'll bring it all back. This is that case count box I was talking about. So Hancock County has had 17,258 confirmed cases of COVID as of the update date of this dashboard. And then our hospitalizations and our deaths. Now, this is the only piece of data in this entire dashboard that comes from a different source that is not the Ohio Disease Reporting System. This one we get from ODH because there's a lag between when ODRS updates the deaths as a confirmed COVID death compared to when ODH has it. ODH will compare it to vital statistics, so we know that those deaths in there are confirmed. So this is the only piece that you're going to see that comes from a different source, and it is the only thing on this page or any other page that's not going to filter based on a selection. So these two will, this one will stay at 277 or whatever number it has updated to based on the ODH number. So for example, let's say I live in Arcadia and I click on that. I want to see all the COVID cases in the past 3 years. We've had 239 as of this date. We can see that these two filter, this one stays the same because it's not going to. And we can see the breakdown here. Anywhere in here that's blank, click, it's going to unfilter. In here, you can see the different age groups, and the bars are split by sex. So red is female, darker blue is male, and this lighter blue is unknown. And unknown is anything that was reported as unknown or was blank when people reported their sex. So the other thing you can do, if I want to see 20 to 29-year-old males, I can click on this right here, And it's going to filter all of our data for the whole county to just include that age group and sex. Again, you can click anywhere and it's going to unfilter for you. Down here, we have race and ethnicity, and we were able to do it on the COVID page because our case count was so high. It just provides some individual privacy, less of a chance that someone can figure out who someone else was just based on the information presented on this dashboard. So that is a very nice feature for you to understand what demographics were impacted by COVID in Hancock County. So now we will go to our first non-COVID related disease group. And these are our vaccine preventables. So these are any diseases that we have a vaccine for and that the vaccine works well to prevent disease. So these are all the diseases we have included in the category. And again, these are all links that you can click that will take you to a site with more information. You can see it's spread airborne, droplet, and indirect. And here's a link to more information if you want more. Now, because we have more years involved, you can scroll down through the years. And then these are, in these boxes here, any disease that we had one or more cases in one or more years that we've included. So these are all the ones we monitor. We may or may not have had a case of them. These are all the ones that we had at least one case of. So it just makes it easier when you're trying to find information to just have the ones that we do have information for. So if I want to see our strep cases, you can click on that. It's going to filter it down just for our strep. That. If I live in Findlay and I want to see our breakdown of cases, I can click on Findlay. It's going to filter everything down for me. And you may notice that these are different than what you saw on the COVID page. Like I mentioned, these following groups didn't have as many cases as we saw in COVID or compared to COVID. So what we've done is taken race and ethnicity off just to protect individual privacy, but we've kept sex and age group, and we've kept them as pie graphs. So you still get that data, but hopefully it's a little harder to figure out who is who. Then each of the following pages are all very similar setups. All the links, all very clickable. One thing I do want to show you is if you want to select multiple, you just hit Control. So if I want to select multiple years, I'm going to do 2017. I'm going to press Control and select 2019, and it's going to keep just that data for me. You can still just clear it all out by doing that, and they're all selected again. And we know because they're black in color rather than this blue teal color. So we hope that this is helpful and a good way to get information. It is only going to be historical information since we are updating monthly, and as we get information in, there's always a chance that stuff can be added as things come into Hancock County from ODH as far as being reported. So these numbers may change, but it is a good way to at least get a snapshot on where we're standing, how we're trending within our community. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.